It's Absolutely Auburn, a place where we'll talk about all things Auburn, Maine, because we're in the middle of it all. The City of Auburn's communications team is dedicated to helping you connect with city government and learn everything you need to know about Auburn, our city, our people, our events, and our community. Welcome to Absolutely Auburn.
In this episode of Absolutely Auburn, we're talking about food and a school-based food hub. You'll learn how an Auburn-based small business and the Auburn School Department are working together to bring local foods into our schools. Welcome back to Absolutely Auburn. I'm your host, Jenn Boenig, and joining me today in the studio are Chris Piercey, Director of Nutrition Services for the Auburn School Department, and Matt Manson, owner of Blackie's Farm Fresh Produce. Welcome, Chris and Matt.
Hello. Happy to be here.
You might be wondering what Chris and Matt have in common, and duh, it's food, right? That's the obvious answer. They are part of the School-Based Food Hub, which is an innovative initiative bringing together the Auburn, Lewiston, and Lisbon school districts with local farms. The mission of the School-Based Food Hub, which is a USDA or U.S. Department of Agriculture, I shouldn't assume everyone knows all the acronyms, is to increase the sourcing and integration of healthy Maine-grown foods into school meals. Everyone knows providing kids with fresh, healthy food in schools is critical for physical and cognitive development, and it leads to improved academic performance. You can't do well if you are hungry sitting in a classroom. It also leads to better mental health and forms the foundation for lifelong healthy eating habits. So, Chris, a significant part of Auburn's nearly 70 square miles of our beautiful city is comprised of farmland. And our city has a long history of farming and agriculture. How did Auburn become a part of this school-based food hub project? I'm going to stumble over that a million times, I'm sure. And why did Auburn want to be a part of this project?
We called it that just to give everybody that word fumble.
I know, right?
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Well, it works.
So we, in Auburn, the school nutrition department, we've been kind of experimenting the last few summers. I'm fortunate in the summertime to have less on my plate. We do a summer feeding program, and we have a handful of staff members who said, I'd be interested in working in the summer if there was something opportunity. Obviously, the summer in Maine, it's also when the harvest season is. So we experimented a little bit, processing, squash, green beans, corn on the cob, potatoes, kind of everything that we could get our hands on in a small scale. So we've kind of had it on our mind for a little while I wonder if, we could expand this. The grant was opened up through the USDA and Full Plates Full Potential, who's the nonprofit. So with the experimentation we did, we said, okay, I think the timing's right. We know the volume that we go through in the Auburn schools. We're fortunate to be close with Lewiston and Lisbon. They were also interested in hopping on board. So we have a great relationship with Blackie's Farm, other farms in the area. So it really turned into maybe the timing is perfect. See if we can do this now. We were one of the fortunate applicants to be granted the funds. So we wanted to because we like, tying local farms, agriculture to the school meals, feeding the kids that better nutrition because it's local, less food travels from. Helping out the local economy as well.
And now, Matt, as the owner of Blackie's, which is a much-loved small business here in Auburn, and you've undergone a gorgeous and fantastic renovation that we were talking about off air, why did you and your team want to get involved in this school-based food hub project?
Yeah, so we love feeding people. And so we have a relationship with the Auburn School Department that goes back a long time. Chris has been working on this, and I'll just say, kind of to toot Chris's horn a little bit, this is above and beyond stuff here, and it makes a difference, obviously, with kids eating local foods and stuff like that. And I deal with other school departments as well, and I think it's very easy to get complacent in your job and kind of do your day-to-day stuff. But Chris really has gone above and beyond, especially in this grant. I think he's spearheading it for the other schools as well. Just to say he's doing a great thing. And for anybody that's listening in Auburn, this is going to change the way your kids eat in school to actual, real, healthy, nutritious, local food, So it was a natural fit for us. I loved all the things that the program is doing, breaking down those barriers to local nutritious foods and just letting kids try things that they probably have never tried before. I mean, they've done some amazing stuff already. Beet smoothies. I mean, they're doing local Brussels sprouts in schools. I mean, I never could imagine eating a Brussels sprout in my elementary school. So it's they're doing some amazing stuff with some cool local foods and also lifting up local farmers at the same time. And not that I grow every single thing that I sell as far as local foods go, but for us it was a nice fit to we buy from a lot of local farms, and so to be able to do some of that outsourcing for the grant and school department seemed to be a natural fit with that. We already had this relationship.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It does seem like a natural partnership because, as you just mentioned, you kind of are a local food hub at Blackie's, able to source from a variety of other folks. So that, Chris, you are not having to reach out to all of them. You get to reach out to Matt, who can then reach out on your behalf. So I would think that it is a natural partnership.
Some of the struggles that schools probably have is like, hey, I can't talk to 12 different farms. Like, it is nice, and the convenience of it to deal with multiple farms through Matt is something that, we're grateful for.
And Matt, I think I had seen you carry more than 60 different kind of main farm and local products in your location. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It's kind of crazy, but it's so fun. We love sourcing local product. We get to meet the people behind these cool products, and that's one of the things that we love doing. Not only sourcing local foods, but local products, and just trying to lift up other people's businesses and brands and building up our own at the same time. It's great.
Yeah. So, Chris, you might have alluded to it earlier. This is a 4-year grant, right?
Correct.
And this is the first year of the project. So the work has just started. How have the students been involved, or have they been involved yet? And how will students get involved? I know Matt had kind of mentioned you guys had made some beet smoothies, but I guess are kids able to kind of get involved in some of this too? Do they get to give you ideas? Do they get to, I guess, what have they tried so far, and kind of what are you thinking here for long term?
Sure. It's a good question. That is our number one job, is to feed the kids. I get that. So far we do taste tests. That's we pledge to do the Harvest of the Month program is what it's called. Twice a month, the state of Maine identifies a local product that's in season. So we put that on menus at least twice a month at all the schools. Could be potatoes, Brussels sprouts, like Matt had mentioned, lettuce, beans, blueberries, all that good stuff. So we do taste testing the month prior to we put it on our menus to see if it be something the kids would enjoy. It might be beet smoothies. It might be a local potato that we do a little poutine with. Just hey, is this like a hot lunch item that would actually go well? So that's the student input so far has been those taste tests for the most part. We also have a food corps member who's coming on board next year, which is exciting, to help us do more student-based stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're excited to get them on board where they can do more stuff in the classroom, if it's like a educational component behind it. Like, hey, this is the actual, I've had farmers who we purchased from who have said, hey, I'll come into the school and do, I'll tell the kids about the process or what have you. So, I hope the interest kind of grows in the, I look at the school nutrition program like we feed the kids, but there's also education behind the food that we serve them, if you will. Mm-hmm. So, where it came from and whatnot. So, taste tests, focus groups. I mean, I think all that stuff's kind of in a scope of the 4-year plan. Now,
how many kids are you serving on a regular basis within the school district?
Yep. Enrollment's 3,600 right now. We probably feed 65% of that across the entire district for lunch. So that puts us somewhere around 25, 2,600 meals a day, something like that. And then breakfast is probably 40%. So I always just ballpark it like 5,000 meals a day.
Wow.
Breakfast and lunch.
That's a lot of food. It's a lot of. I think I have enough feeding 5 or 6 people in my house. Forget like 5,000 meals a day.
I always say it's a lot of potatoes when we need potatoes.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a lot of potatoes. Matt, if someone asked you what a food hub is, what would you tell them?
I think I'd say that it's a place that values local food, local products, a community business, that's involved in businesses around the tight-knit community. I'd say a place that sources as much as they can kind of locally produced or regionally produced. And then a place that has a vision for preserving agriculture and just being a part of Maine ag, and I think that's a local food hub.
Now, storage, because obviously Maine winters, not much is happening growing wise over the winter months. Is storage and preservation of food an issue? And how do you guys handle that, Chris, in the schools? Is kind of storing and preserving part of the challenge?
For sure. Probably the biggest challenge we hope to run into that we've exceeded the storage that we have available to us. That's good, but also what do we do now? So we did some kind of preliminary outreach to kind of other organizations that might, if we were to need freezer space, if we were to reach that point. We're certainly not there yet. I can tell you our planning has begun already. We get a lot of USDA food, 40-pound, here's 80 cases of ground beef, 40 pounds that we have freezers for now. But we can kind of adjust our orders to save us some freezer space down the line. And usually over the summertime, where we hope to do a lot of our processing, we plan to have exhausted as much freezer space as we can, used up that product during the school year.
Yeah.
So we have freezer space to utilize. That's the plan. And no, I think if we reach that point where we need for more freezer space, it's exciting, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Matt, any input on that as far as the storage and preservation?
He might get a call if we reach that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to build a bigger freezer because I didn't build a very big one.
He's going to need more renovations.
As far as the grant goes and buying local foods out of season, I think a lot of farms that professionally grow certain commodities, they have on-farm storage. So I think Chris got a tour of Bell Farms this year, right here in Auburn. Shout out Bell Farms. But they have an amazing potato storage, and so they have the capability of storing these potatoes year-round. And so for us, we have the ability, because of the relationship, to just buy it as needed and get it to them as needed. And so as we've kind of dabbled into some other products, farms that grow carrots, farms that grow beets, most of these farms have on-farm storage, and then they sell it throughout the winter
then they
months.
can sell it all year long.
Yeah, on some of the root crops and dry beans, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was always curious how that worked. So, Chris, tell us what does a typical work day look like for you as the Director of Nutrition Services at the Auburn School Department?
Yeah, I'm sure like most people nowadays, it could be anything really. It starts every morning with the sick calls. I know there's jobs that exist that you don't wake up with those, but I don't have one of them. I do get those in the morning, and then it's, do I need a sub? Am I going there myself? Is my assistant going there? What's that look like to feed the kids? That's the priority every day, day in, day out. So it starts with that. I'll come in. I am an early morning riser. Pretty early, I'll catch up with emails that I might have gotten, or just projects that I'm working on, or just follow-ups with emails. Sometimes just check in with staff. Hey, they sent me an email. Hey, can you give me a call? What's going on? That happens Well, pretty much routinely every day. Just, might not be every school every day, but always, check in. I do like to visit all the schools as often as I can. Today I was fortunate I went up to the high school. Hey, what do we need? So I mashed some potatoes there. I went to culinary school. I have a degree in culinary arts. I love to be in the kitchens. So when that opportunity presents itself and I have the time, I take advantage of it. It's also, talking to the staff, checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, And then might be, working on budget stuff for next year. It might be, hey, there's another grant going on. Would you be interested in that? Doing research on that. Every moment of free time I have nowadays, it's been, hey, what can I process, or what can I run through the machine we bought? Can we do experiments? Because a lot of it, we are taking on a lot of the data portion of it. Like, yeah, I sliced carrots today, but how do I justify that it makes sense for other schools to slice carrots? Like, if that makes sense. What are the cost savings? How much do we get it for? Because a big part of us in the grant, it's us doing it for this area, but also to support other programs in the state of Maine that really make it say, hey, this can be done, and it should be done because it's the right thing, and also give the schools hey, you can also actually save money doing this. Right. So we've kind of taken on the lead with that. So it's a lot tied to that, as you can imagine, while also serving those 5,000 meals on a day-to-day basis. And then the school lunch. Sometimes I'll take part in serving. If not, I'll catch up on other stuff. I am fortunate to have a wicked foodie for an assistant director who he and I chat often about what direction we want to go in. Hey, do you want to do this for a sample next month? Matt said he can get this, or hey, this farm can get us 300 pounds of ground beef. Let's utilize that for a beef stew, or whatever the case may be. We talk about future plans pretty often, what's going on out there, in the schools. But yeah.
And Matt,
it's subject to change.
Well, yeah, and other duties as assigned, right? Or whatever other fires may rise to the occasion. Matt, as the owner of Blackie's, what does your typical work day look like?
Yeah, my typical day changes all the time. It's not very typical. And it's mostly with the season. So like we're coming into spring, so we're going to be farming here soon. And so it all kind of changes with the seasons if we're harvesting, and a lot of management. So same sort of things that Chris is talking about, catching up with people during the day and, making sure if we are picking things, what are we picking? At the store, I do a lot of the inventory management and ordering. I have a wonderful manager, Colleen, shout out, that handles a lot of the staffing stuff, but we often chatting about it. But there's a lot of things that come up when you own a business. This weekend we had a van that the motor came unmounted, and then we had to get a van towed, and it's like you never know what's going to come up it could happen anytime. So it's when you're a small business owner, I don't think you can explain it to anybody until you've done it, but it's everything. You wear all the hats.
You get to do all the things. Yeah. So what would you say is the most interesting part of your job?
The most interesting thing is definitely the change of seasons, and that my job is not ever the same. And that's why I love it. I went to school for recreational therapy, and I worked in a psych hospital, and it was like paperwork and therapy, and my brain needs more. And so the most interesting part is that it's just ever changing, and I'm around people all the time. I just love it. I'm a social guy, so I like being around folks.
Maybe a farm podcast is in your future.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. And how about you, Chris? What's the most interesting part of your job?
I gotta be honest, I don't think you can fit a farm podcast on your plate. Yeah.
My wife, I don't think is going to be kosher with it.
Oh, okay.
If I add another board or another group that I'm a part of.
It's going to be like one more thing, really?
We have 2 kids too. So
all right. We'll back burner the podcast then.
What I find most interesting about my job, my favorite part about the job is the people. The school nutrition staff, and that goes for every school. They're just amazing, down to earth people. They don't do it for the paycheck. They do it because they enjoy it. They like being a part of the school day, being a part of the community. Such a amazing group of staff members that I have. I really enjoy every minute with them. They're just, they'll be honest with me. They'll tell me stuff that, we're doing that's challenging for them. But I think we do a pretty good job communicating openly back and forth. And, the local food stuff that we're doing, the scratch-made stuff that we're doing, it's, we wouldn't, I say we, the Auburn School Department, we wouldn't be doing any of it without, them, because they're the ones, the day-to-day. Like, I can go to the middle school tomorrow and run 100 pounds of potatoes through the food processor, but even if I wasn't able to do that, they would still make it happen, like, somehow. Like, it's just definitely, the staff that I have.
And about how many staff does the department have to manage all those meals and between all the schools?
Yep. There's 35 of us, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Spread out. Some the middle school, high school have the biggest staff, and then the elementary schools, they usually function with just 3 or 2 people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. And what about you, Matt? What do you have for staff? I guess staff that we would probably see at the store, but then you also have a farm, so there's staff there too.
Absolutely.
That we're not going to see.
I think we have about 22 employees right now. At the height of the summer season, we'll probably be around 25, 26 employees. Most of those are for the retail location. We have a bunch of high school kids that all go to school right here in Auburn that work for us. On the farm side of things, we have immigrant labor. So I have 2 wonderful gentlemen from Jamaica that come up. They actually live with me. Shout out Jermaine and Brown.
Oh, nice.
But they do most of the hand labor on the farm, and we have one other lady that packs and processes stuff. So yeah, bunch of employees. Not as many as Chris, but
I feel like I got to get caught up on the shout-outs.
I don't know. You just gave an nice to all your
Andy,
employees.
all the staff out there, Amanda. Yeah, no, thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes you hear school lunch, and I'm going to date myself now, but like you think back to grumpy lunch ladies and square pizza and chocolate milk, sloppy joes.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite. I love breaking down that, like, the expectation of school lunch that everybody has, or the preconceived notion of it, if you will. We do chicken nuggets, we do pizza, we do all that stuff, but it's like the pizza we get. It's a frozen dough that we actually thaw out. We roll it into a pizza crust. We sauce and we cheese.
No more square pizza.
You know what? When we do it, the kids are like, "Yeah, it's back." But no, that's part of the job that I enjoy. The challenge of, like, hearing that, hey, wow, this isn't what I expected at all. This is shepherd's pie on, a home-cooked meal.
Food.
Yep.
It's real food. And I think, there's still some of that negative connotation out there. Not going to lie.
Yeah, we like bringing those people in. And, yeah.
Well, I have to say, I know some of the things that I have seen at the high school level with the culinary arts program in the schools is phenomenal. The work that's happening and the work that's being done. Yeah,
those kids actually cooked the lunch for us one day, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Birria tacos, I think it's called. They prepared everything, and they came over and they served lunch with the staff. So that was they were a good group too, and it's just it helped strengthen the school community is kind of how I look at stuff like that. Shout out to Brittany for putting that together.
Yeah, there you go. See, he's catching on now.
Trendy.
So, what's your favorite thing about Auburn? And it doesn't have to be work related. And either one of you can go first.
I'll go first if that's all right. Yeah, I don't live in the city. I am a transplant. I don't know how much my accent comes up over the podcast.
We couldn't tell.
I am from Massachusetts. I always liked, and it was almost pretty immediate because I got hired at the beginning of COVID, like that community element. And then it kind of spun specifically towards food for me. Like I got just randomly connected with all these, really, I really feel a lot of momentum towards like local food, and we being the school, I think I certainly want to throw my hat into everything that we can, and it definitely originated with the Blackie's relationship that we had, and all the work that began before I even showed up, to be honest with you. Getting apples from Greenwood, like there's already this kind of the seeds were already planted. And then we've been fortunate where, to expand into, the state of Maine gives X amount of dollars for local food, and we've exhausted that money already by halfway through October. That's just kind of how robust we've been able to grow our local food program. So yeah, just that behind the scenes local food movement that exists in Auburn. I definitely think that's probably what I enjoy most about this region, or Auburn, Lewiston. But yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Auburn?
I love Taylor Pond. And so I grew up in Leeds, and some of my great aunts and uncles had a cottage on Taylor Pond. So I started going there as a young child. And now I drive by it every day. I live in Minot, but I go right by Taylor Pond, and I come down the hill by my house in the morning, and the sun is rising over it, and I just really love Taylor Pond.
Nice. So if anyone wants to learn more about the school-based food hub project, you can visit the Auburn School Department online. It's auburnschl.edu. And I could tell you how to get there, but I'm just going to link it in the show notes because it's easier than trying to explain it to you on how to find it on the website, because sometimes it's hard to follow that out. But I will link that in the show notes. Anything else, guys, that you want to add about the school-based project, or anything else I didn't ask you that?
No,
any more shout-outs that you want to give?
No, we're kind of just getting rock and rolling with it. We have a project coordinator we get brought on board. We've been connecting with, farms, some through Matt, some through, outside, just direct relationships with farms to, expand and see what we're able to do, expand our operation, the one in Lewiston and Lisbon as well. We're excited for the future potential of it. We're still buying equipment. But no, check us out. We have a Facebook page. We have all that stuff. So, if anybody's interested in helping us out, or any in any capacity, we'd be game for whatever. All
right. Well, Chris and Matt, thanks for joining me and sharing a little more about the school-based food hub. I think I'm getting it. I'm not tripping over it as much. So, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Absolutely Auburn. You can find all things Auburn, Maine at auburnmaine.gov and goauburn.me. You can also listen to us anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, just to name a few. The City of Auburn's communications team wants to remind you that Absolutely Auburn is the only official podcast for the City of Auburn, Maine.